allow me to share a concept that you might find truly astonishing. Females perpetually remember particular individuals. This isn't due to their financial status, their physical appearance, or the extravagant image they projected. Absolutely not. We hold in our memory those men who evoked a sensation unlike any other. And this is a reality that many gentlemen completely overlook. It's not always the fellow with the largest physique, the most refined attire, or the slinkiest conversational style who stays fixed in our thoughts. It is the individual who performs very specific actions, subtle details that awaken something far deeper within us. You see, women are the recipient of male attention constantly. Compliments, messages, invitations, and even attempts to impress us. This happens all of the time. But the majority of it, we swiftly forget. It blurs together because the feeling is uniform. What truly renders a man unforgettable is not what most guys imagine. It's not over-the-top sentimentalism, nor is it about being flawless. It is the minimal alterations in his conduct, the instances where they stand out because they disclosed a facet that hardly any other man exhibits. That is why I wish to be completely candid with you in this presentation. I'm not here to provide you with flimsy suggestions or the typical dating platitudes. I am here to unveil the truth. The things women discuss amongst themselves, the admissions we make when no one else is listening, and the deeds we never erase from memory when a man performs them. Now, it is possible that some of what I am about to mention may feel uneasy, or perhaps even a bit provoking, because it contradicts what you've likely been taught, but that is precisely the point. If you genuinely seek to leave a mark in a woman's mind, whether she is someone you are courting, someone you desire, or even someone who once overlooked you, you must grasp these 5 concepts. Because once you achieve that, you will realize that being ideal is not necessary to be unforgettable. It simply requires understanding how feminine psychology truly functions, and that is exactly what I am about to demonstrate to you. 1. She never forgets the individual who makes her feel secure. Allow me to be honest with you here. A woman will always recall the emotion a man instilled in her. You can purchase her gifts, take her to pricey suppers, or utter all the appropriate phrases, but if she does not feel protected by your side, none of that will last. And when I mention secure, I am not referring exclusively to shielding her from physical peril, although that too is important. I am referring to the kind of protection that reaches much deeper: emotional security, mental calm, and even spiritual stability. That is what a woman carries with her long after you have departed. Consider it this way. A woman is innately designed to be wary with her heart. She will not fully disclose herself unless she knows you will not employ her vulnerability against her. When she is with a man who does not criticize her, who listens without turning her sentiments into a weakness, she experiences something rare: solace. And trust me, women never forget that, because the reality is that the majority of men fail to provide it. Many men either dismiss what she expresses, make her feel dramatic, or use her confessions as ammunition later. But the man who can maintain a space for her without making her feel foolish, that man resides in her recollection forever. Imagine a moment in which she is entirely overwhelmed. Perhaps life is crushing her, or she is plagued by self-doubt. Most people would tell her to compose herself or to cease overthinking, but the man she never forgets does not do that. He looks at her with steadiness and composure and states, "I've got this. You do not need to figure this out without assistance." That is all. Just like that, her defenses fall. That is the type of energy she will replay in her mind months, even years afterward. And here is what you need to know. This is not about pretending to be her therapist, and it is not about attempting to solve every difficulty she possesses. It is about proving to her that she can lower her defenses around you without being penalized for it. A woman may forget the exact words you spoke, but she will never forget the way her chest felt lighter when she was with you. That is why this is so potent, because regardless of what occurs later, even if she moves on, even if the connection ceases, she will carry that memory of security with her. And once a woman has sensed it, she cannot unsense it. She will measure every other man she encounters against the one who offered her that feeling of tranquility and certainty. Therefore, this is the truth. Women never forget the man who made them feel secure. Not because of funds, not because of appearance, but because that is the man who touched something far deeper than the surface. That is the man who stands out in her heart long after everything else disappears. 2. She never forgets the person who genuinely pays attention. Here is something that the majority of men underestimate: the influence of listening. And I do not mean the passive variety of listening, where you are simply nodding while awaiting your opportunity to speak. I mean real, active, and genuine listening, where she feels seen, heard, and comprehended without being interrupted or judged. A woman never forgets the man who listens to her in a manner that causes her to feel that her voice truly has worth. Why? Because it is unusual. Most individuals listen to formulate a reply, not to grasp the meaning. And women are aware of this. She can discern when you are merely feigning attention, when your gaze wanders, or when you jump directly into providing her with solutions without having absorbed what she actually uttered. But the man who slows down, concentrates, and gives her his total and undivided presence, that man leaves an impact that sticks. Allow me to elaborate on this. When a woman speaks, she is not always seeking answers. Sometimes she simply wishes to release what has been bottled up inside her. And the men who mess this up are those who either dismiss her feelings or try to fix everything instantly. That destroys attraction. What keeps her connected is when you do not rush her, when you permit her to speak fully, and when you reflect back that you understand simple remarks such as, "I am hearing you," or "that sounds extremely difficult," have a greater reach than most men realize, because they prove that you are tuned into her, not just brushing her off. And here is the secret. When a woman feels listened to, she naturally feels closer to you. She opens up more, she trusts you more, and that connection you establish is not something she can easily duplicate with just anyone. That is why the memory of it lingers. Even years in the future, she will think of you and remember, "He was the only one who actually listened to me without making me feel irrational or exaggerated." Consider how extraordinary that is in her world. Friends listen halfway, co-workers cut her off, family members might dismiss her, and the majority of men only listen long enough to obtain what they desire. But the man who offers his presence in a genuine way stands out like a light in the darkness. That is the man she replays in her mind when she is speaking to someone new who does not measure up. So here is the truth. Listening is not about being passive, it is an active ability. It involves leaning in, catching the minute details, remembering the things she tells you, and making her feel that her inner world matters. And when you do that, you become unforgettable. Not because you spoke the ideal words, but because you gave her the rare gift of being completely heard. That is why women never forget the man who listens, because in a world full of clamor, he is the one who provided her with silence, space, and comprehension, and that is potent. 3. She never forgets the one who safeguards her tranquility. Every woman values serenity, and the truth is, most men fail to realize its great importance. A woman never forgets the man who made her life more calm, safe, and light, instead of stressful, chaotic, or heavy. Protection is not only about shielding her from physical harm, it is about guarding her mental and emotional peace. And when you are the man who contributes that kind of stability, you become impossible for her to erase from memory. Think about it. Many women navigate life dealing with turmoil, whether it is family struggles, competitive friends, work exhaustion, or even previous toxic relationships. If you enter her life and increase that chaos, she will eventually resent you. But if you are the man who brings calmness to her storm, that impact remains with her eternally. This does not mean you must be flawless or devoid of emotion. It signifies that you understand how to manage difficulties without losing your composure, without projecting anger onto her, and without making her life more complicated. For example, if she is ventilating about something, you do not escalate it by being dismissive or reactive. Instead, you maintain control. You allow her to feel secure around you and make her believe that with you, she does not have to be constantly on guard. What women will never concede aloud is that they deeply crave a man who can provide peace, because it is very rare. Many men believe they impress women with money, looks, or grand gestures. But what makes him imprint himself is the emotional environment he creates. Was she at ease near you? Did she feel she could be herself without fear of judgment? Did your presence decrease her anxiety instead of increasing it? If the answer is yes, she will remember you forever. Here is where most men make a mistake. They confuse protecting her peace with being an agreeable person or avoiding conflict at all costs. That is not it. Guarding her serenity also involves establishing boundaries, standing firm when necessary, and not allowing her to drag you into unnecessary dramas. Women respect men who can maintain control over themselves and refuse to live in disorder. That self-discipline grants her security, and security is unforgettable. Years later, even if she is with another, she will measure him against you. If her new companion generates stress, arguments, or drama, she will find herself thinking, "It was never like this with him. I felt calm, I felt protected." And trust me, that comparison is powerful. So here is the lesson. You do not have to fight the world to be a protector. You just need to bring stability, composure, and clarity into her life. Be the man who protects her peace, and you will reside in her mind long after everything else fades. 4. She never forgets the fellow who confronts her. Here is the truth that the majority of men fail to understand. Women might enjoy being admired, pampered, and pursued, but they do not forget the man who challenges them. A man who is not afraid to call her out, push her toward growth, or refuse to tolerate her tests, stands out in a way that is engraved in her memory. Why? Because he is scarce. Most guys do the opposite. They bend over backwards, concur with everything she says, and avoid conflict at all costs. Initially, she might appreciate the attention, but deep down, she does not respect it. When a man never confronts her, she perceives him as predictable, easily handled, and, eventually, forgettable. But when a man is different, when he is strong enough to challenge her behavior, her mindset, or even her comfort zone, he triggers something deeper in her. It is not about being argumentative without reason. It is about refusing to be a doormat. For example, if she is being melodramatic or testing limits, the man who calmly but firmly states, "I will not entertain this nonsense," instantly distances himself from every guy who would have simply submitted to keep her happy. This type of man leaves an impression because he forces her to elevate herself. He makes her question herself, makes her respect him more, and makes her realize that he is not like the rest. Even if she argues at the moment, deep down she admires him because he is strong enough to defend his own principles instead of living for her validation. Here is what makes this unforgettable. Women do not forget the men who shaped them. If you are the reason she became more disciplined, more self-aware, or more accountable, she will always remember you as the man who did not just let her coast. You were the man who raised her own standards. Even years later, when she meets men who are overly agreeable, she will think, "They are too easy. They do not challenge me like he did." That comparison remains. The man who confronts her creates emotional tension, and that tension fuels attraction and memory. Therefore, do not be afraid to draw the line. Do not be afraid to say no. Do not be afraid to make her earn your respect instead of merely handing it over, because the man who challenges her is the man she never forgets. 5. She never forgets the man who made her feel craved. Here is something you need to comprehend about women. They are being looked at, noticed, and even complimented constantly. But there is a difference between a man who simply acknowledges her beauty and the man who makes her feel deeply yearned for. That second man, she never forgets. The majority of men commit the error of either overdoing it or falling short. Some barrage her with superficial flattery. "You are so hot. You are gorgeous. You are," to the point where it loses its meaning. Others, out of fear of appearing needy, completely abstain, giving her nothing to feed off of. But the man who achieves the balance, the one who can look her in the eyes, hold her attention, and make her feel as if she is the only woman in the world, that man clings to her mind. Making a woman feel desired is not just about words, It is about presence. It is the manner in which you look at her as if you were not only seeing her physique, but her essence. It is the way you touch her when the time is right, not desperately, but with confidence and control. It is the way you carry yourself around her that communicates, I do not require you, but I want you, and I intensely want you. That energy is magnetic. Here is the truth. Women forget compliments, but they do not forget the sensation of being wanted. A woman will remember the man who gazed at her in a way that made her knees weak. She will remember the man who did not just give attention out of routine, but out of an authentic masculine desire. She will remember the way he made her feel feminine, beautiful, and longed for. Even if she moves on, even if she dates another, that memory lingers. Because deep inside, women wish to feel chosen, desired, and feminine in the presence of a strong man. If you provided her with that experience, if you ignited that flame in her, she will not be able to erase you from her mind. And here is the key factor. Desire is infrequent. Most men are either too eager or too remote. The man who can balance restraint with raw passion, that is unforgettable. That is the man she will compare every future connection to. 6. She never forgets the guy who departed with self-respect. There is one type of man that women speak of for years after he is gone. The man who walked away when he was not being appreciated and did it with complete dignity. No fury, no drama, no pleas, just a calm confidence. That leaves an indelible mark on a woman's mind. You see, the majority of men do the opposite. When a woman pulls away, loses interest, or disrespects them, they panic, they chase, they argue, they try to prove their worth. And all that does is confirm what she already felt, that she was superior to him. But the man who accepts reality with composure and withdraws without lowering his standards, that man triggers something powerful in her psychology. Why? Because he demonstrated that he was not afraid to lose her. He proved without words that his value does not stem from her approval. And that stings. It compels her to confront a truth she cannot escape. If he can walk away, it is because he knows he can be wanted elsewhere. That is when she realizes that she lost a man who will not tolerate being taken for granted. Here is what makes it unforgettable. Most women are accustomed to men yielding under pressure. They are habituated to emotional outbursts, desperate messages, or last attempts to hold on. But when you exhibit the opposite, tranquil detachment, self-control, and dignity, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the man who handled rejection or disrespect in a way that elevated your value instead of diminishing it. And trust me, she will replay that in her head long after the separation, long after she thought she had moved past you. She will remember that you did not fight for crumbs. You chose your own worth. And that is something a woman cannot easily forget, because it reminds her of the kind of strength that most men do not possess. 7. She never forgets the man who provided her with security. If there is one thing that cuts deeper than looks, money, or charm, it is certainty. A woman never forgets the man who made her feel safe, not only physically, but emotionally too. Because deep down, every woman yearns for security, and when she experiences it with a man, it is etched into her memory like a lasting mark. This is the truth. The majority of men think safety means being physically strong or protective. Of course, that matters, but it is only a fraction of the equation. Security also lies in being reliable, consistent, and trustworthy. It is being the man she knows will not collapse when life becomes hard, the man who keeps his word, the man who does not allow his emotions to dominate him during chaos. That kind of safety is exceptional and unforgettable. Consider this. A woman might date men who are exciting, fun, or even wildly attractive. But if those men also made her feel insecure, unstable, or uncertain about her standing, they fade from memory. They blend into the multitude of amusing but forgettable experiences. But the man who gave her peace of mind, who created an environment where she could be feminine, vulnerable, and relaxed, that is the man she keeps in her thoughts. It is not about being gentle or overprotective. It is about balance. It is about displaying strength, but without unnecessary aggression. It is about remaining calm in moments where others lose control. It is about showing up consistently instead of being unpredictable. That is what builds trust in her nervous system. And once she feels it, she cannot unfeel it. Even if she departs, even if she attempts to move on, every man she encounters afterward is measured against that benchmark. If they cannot give her that same peace and stability, she will continue to remember the one who did, and that is the irony. Women may pursue thrill in the moment, but in the long run, what remains in their memory is not chaos, it is security. The man who gave her that will always hold a place in her mind, whether she admits it or not. Women do not forget the man who leaves an emotional print on their soul. And it is not about ostentatious gifts, smooth dialogue, or temporary rushes. It is about the manner in which you make them feel. If you gave her a sense of mystery, made her laugh, challenged her to grow, respected her boundaries, left her with unresolved emotions, embodied confidence, displayed depth, and, most significantly, made her feel secure, you left a mark that no other man can erase. You see, attraction diminishes, looks change, excitement burns out, but the sentiments you awaken in her remain locked inside her memory. That is why, even years later, women think about certain men when they cannot sleep. That is why they sometimes compare new men to those from their history. And that is why the man who grasped female psychology and did not overexpose himself ends up unforgettable. Here is the truth you need to remember. Being unforgettable is not about chasing or proving yourself to a woman. It is about being centered, being disciplined, and self-assured. Because when a man truly knows his worth, he naturally leaves an impact without trying too hard. That is the man a woman remembers, not because he begged for her attention, but because he conducted himself in a way she could not ignore. So do not aim to impress. Aim to embody the characteristics that women never forget. Do this and, whether she stays or goes, your presence will always linger in her mind.